All right, hello everyone. Back to Tour 8 for some more shootouts and holes. Hopefully, get some more information out here for hole number Tour 8 for you guys. And here is the Cliffs, hole 9, par 5. And these new cliff holes are definitely more of a challenge. But when you see winds like this makes you really happy. Just to see that, it's going to be kind of a layup for both of us, which is going to kind of be favorable. Now, let's note that, I'm barely going to make it to this fairway, so I have to kind of play according to that. So I am going to try to land it on the left half of this fairway. Additionally, I might just curl it a little bit just to kind of straighten out the wind more than anything. But notice with quarterback specifically, we're going to have a large margin for error in case we were to do something accidental. You can see I missed to the left with about a 2-ring great ball and still managed to wind up getting it right into the middle. And the secret to that is kind of keeping it on the left half of the fairway. And you can see we got it down there quite a bit ways. The odds of getting beat outright on this hole, it can be done. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of variables need to go very well to lose this hole pre-shootout. So it's best, in my opinion, just to use quarterback for a layup shot and then do the same with your second shot. And you can see actually my opponent using a KM ball, I'm only using a Navigator, and we're going to end up with the same score. So it's just something to note, and that's going to be the case more times than not, but not always. Granted, you might lose a few, but at the same time, especially if you are only giving up a Navigator, that's not necessarily going to penalize you. Now notice for this layup, I'm going to use about 6 rings, which is about my max wind adjustment. Just aim right on the edge there, and I'm going to use a lot of backspin so I can just kind of predict all the bounces. Well, I hit it in the rough, no big deal. You don't need to be in the fairway to give yourself a good go here. Sometimes I get a little aggressive with my aim, and that's what I was kind of doing. I was doing a little bit of an overplay, keeping in mind that it was going to be a right-to-left wind, so it might push the ball to the left more. But again, I'm really not hard-pressed to be in the fairway there, so you're going to see me play, much more liberally and just kind of have a nonchalant attitude because there's no risk, no reward, really. I actually sometimes prefer the rough just because we can bring it in a little bit lower and have a much more controlled shot. So where I hit it is not going to be, and as you can see, especially with what we're looking at in terms of with a hard side wind, being able to play less rings here is going to be nice. And notice where I'm aiming is roughly half club. So if I was to play that at, say, 1.8 per ring, about a half club is probably going to be about 3.6-ish. Sorry. But so if that's the case, I might go 3-ish rings here, maybe with a little bit of curl, just because you could see that I was kind of left of the target with that initial aim, and it's going to be hard to get it back to the left, although I was able to do that there. You can see we gave ourselves a very good run at the eagle, even being in the rough. And part of that is caused by not having to play so much wind because of the fact that coming in from the rough, it comes in a lot lower. So let's see what my opponent can do here. But, nevertheless, most times birdie is going to be okay, and you're going to be okay. And not have to worry about being beat outright. But it will happen from time to time. But what's to say that you won't get, any wind that's not a headwind like we just got? we can get it out to the end of the fairway just like the extra mile did. So, you know, that wind, but the problem is you can never predict the second wind. So not knowing the second wind is virtually what keeps you from getting to the green in two in most cases anyway. So, and even if you get the wind, the shot can be very challenging to execute. And, you know, sometimes even the best guy can make a mistake, a mental mistake. And, you know, going for it will end up costing him the game. And you just strategically laying it up every time, you might actually steal some wins from just laying up because he hits it in the water. So another thing to consider. So let's get into this shootout here. And the way that I like to play this one, especially with a downwind, you're going to see where I like to go here. I do like, there's two specific areas that I like. I like the left. I like the left by that, right where he's aiming now. So this is one of the spots that I really like. And the other one is right in front of the bunker on the right that I also like to hit with a guardian shot. It's really dependent upon the wind on which way that I choose to go. And it might be dependent upon where my opponent hits it. So I'm going to watch, you know, my opponent very carefully here. Depending on how many yards he is from the hole might dictate the way that I go. And there you can see my opponent, you know, he had a good line, but it came in a bit too hot. I do feel confident that, you know, for the most part, we can go that way and probably, you know, more times than not have success. So the spot that I like to aim is more up here. And in terms of a backspin number, I usually use about 4. But here you're going to see me use, since it's so downwind, I'm going to use 5. And you can see how I kind of have the side spin going. Additionally, we're going to go very close to max ring adjustment. So I might go, say, 8 rings here. There you have it. Perfect ball. And it usually just kind of rolls up here, comes in relatively slowly, just goes by, and that extra backspin is basically what sealed the deal for me. So keeping that in mind, I think you will have very good success on that hole. And hopefully you found these tips beneficial. And if so, you know, feel free to, you know, check out all my other content that I have for you guys. I have a lot of Tour 8 shootouts, and I'm going to be adding some of these individual holes just so you have a nice full library to really hone in on this Tour 8 and getting through no problem. So good luck, and see you guys on the next video.